Who is that crying?
Just
What link, Howard?
Where did Lincoln?
The link for us to put on our page.
Where is it?
I'm asking him.
looking for a logo.
Where did Lincoln?
The link for us to put on our page.
Where is it?
I'm asking him.
Oh, I hope we're not live. We can't hear my cell phone.
We're not live.
You want to download it?
Yes, you guys are live. That's what I'm saying. You are live. Anything you say now, you've been heard. Okay.
This is the pride of what lay you out?
Hello, hello, hello. My name is Miss Mane. I'm a neo-traditional artist from Mama Liberia. I showcase our Liberian culture and tradition to the rest of the world. And today, you are watching Across Africa TV network.
Hey everyone, my name is Varro. I'm a singer and a songwriter. Welcome to Across Africa Network, your home of information, discussion, sports, entertainment, and many more.
Hi, I am Eva and I am spunky and bold.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. I'm nice, but don't get it straight.
Hi, I'm Hawa and I give it to you straight.
Hi, my name is Rose Joy and I speak with a passion.
Hey, it's Ivis, the fun girl.
Rose.
Rose.
Hi, guys.
Rose.
Can you hear me?
No? Yes, we can hear you.
Oh,
We can hear you, Rose.
Hello, everyone. Welcome to Libtalks. This show is an open forum of real conversation with no prejudice to race, gender, and social class. Inspire and encourage our audience. Welcome to this show today. We have a special edition, and you guys enjoy the show.
All right, welcome everyone. Are we ready for today's show?
Yes.
Yes. Yes.
Yes, we are. Welcome everyone. You guys, we're excited. We're excited. Tonight's topic is important, so I hope you are sharing. If you have not shared yet, please share. Go ahead. Invite your friends. Invite your sisters. Invite your mothers. Invite your husbands. Come watch the show tonight. Well, I'm going to get started. You know the segment that we're on right now. It's called Is Colloqua. So, you know, the word is a melting pot where different cultures come together to mix at times and to mingle. Sometimes for the good, but not always for the better. Either way, it's an opportunity to learn from each other. We're all saying the same thing. We just have a little different way of saying it, but every countries, every cities, every boroughs have their own colloquialism, or sometimes we call it what? Slangs. So they have their own way of understanding each other, like we do. We know our like brain English. We can speak it well. I get it. You hear me?
Yeah.
So y'all know we have our own way of understanding each other, but the rest of the world does as well. So on today's segment of Is Colloquial, we are going to France. Yes.
Ooh, français. Oui, oui.
Yes. Comment allez-vous?
Je m'appelle. That's what's your name, right? Why am I acting like I don't know?
It's okay. If you don't know, you will learn a little bit from me today. So we're going to France. Au revoir et Francis. Y'all know what that means?
Au revoir et Francis.
No. Welcome to France. We are going to France.
Going to France. Okay.
All right, y'all going to learn a little bit tonight. This colloquial, okay? So, you know, since we're on there, you are going. We're always in a hurry. French people are always in a hurry. They're always in a hurry. So they're famous saying, "Let's go." On y va. 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 Let's go. And when they talk, they use their hands a lot. On y va.
Yeah.
Another one is, you know how when people are arguing, they're like, we'll go foot to foot. And I say now, mon pied ton pied. When a Frenchman tell you mon pied ton pied, you know he ready for war. Foot to foot. So I remember when I was in Ivory Coast, that's one of the things that we used to say a lot. Mon pied ton pied, like you're going to be with your friend, going foot to foot on this issue today. Mon pied ton pied. Mon pied ton pied. And then I'm a stickler of time. If y'all know me, you know I love time. I love to be on time. And another one, apropos, that means it's timely. It happens on time. Apropos.
Apropos.
Yes, it's always on time. It's happening on time. And my favorite one, I love Denzel Washington. So obviously that movie Deja Vu. I know. So y'all know what Deja Vu is. It's like something that you saw and then you turn around, you see it there again. Like, wait, didn't I just see that thing? So my favorite one is Deja Vu. I feel like I say that a lot.
All the time.
We all say that often. So my favorite French saying, I believe, is I like mon pied to pied, foot to foot, because I used to say that a whole lot. And then my other favorite is Deja Vu. But most importantly, the one I like that I just learned, Intervient de France, meaning are you from France? So usually my husband, I think he's half French, but he took his major in college was French. So he went out to Paris and he studied there for a while. So he's very fluent at French. So I'm like, yeah. So he speaks it to me every night and then, you know, in that special area. He speaks Spanish. So that's a little bit of It's Colloquial.
It's Colloquial. Thank you.
I learned something
new. So, ladies, now we are moving on to our next segment, which is Fresh Off the Stand. Miss Eva, are you ready for us?
Fresh off the stand? Yes, I am. Viewers Insight or Fresh Off the Stand? Okay. I'll do Fresh Off the Stand. Okay.
Oh, I'm sorry, Eva. It's Viewers Insight. Viewers Insight. And yeah, that would be me. Here at LIB Talks, our viewers are the single most important thing to us. We value your opinion, your suggestions, and your comments. So last week, we had a comment from Mr. Bark. So today we want to acknowledge Mr. Bark Miller. We thank you for your support by watching the show and engaging with us. Last week you commented on our candidly speaking topic, the rape culture. Lots of Liberian, and in quote, lots of Liberian men still do this. They need to die. As I already told my family, if anyone rape or molest my daughter, they will receive a whole load of bullets right into their head. We at LIB Talks definitely share your sentiment surrounding this topic. So the rape culture from last week, we do strongly agree that the fight for justice needs to continue, and collectively making sure to hold our leaders accountable in making the law prevails. So thank you very much, Mr. Bark Miller. We appreciate your comment.
Yes, yes.
Yes, thank you.
Well, I wouldn't say kill anybody because you don't want to go to jail, but
violence, but
exactly.
We are not for killing anybody. Just take the right stand and let your voices be heard. That's the most important.
Absolutely.
But I mean, you can't control somebody's emotions, so
I know.
Pew pew, you know.
But can I just say something about that rape conversation we had last week? Have you guys noticed that over the last few days there have been a lot of talks? There have been many people are actually having the conversation. I'm seeing people share the information on Facebook and just talking about it more and more. So these topics that we discuss on this platform are very important. So come and be a part of the conversation.
Yes, thank you, Hawa. Eva, are you ready for Fresh Off the Stand?
Yes, I am. Like how I was just talking last week, our candidly were speaking about the rape culture in Liberia, and this conversation has a lot of viewers eagerly wanting to discuss it further because the topic is broad and is sensitive, and as you can see, a lot of it is still going on in Liberia. I mean, just from the show last week, my timeline has just been filled with children that have been raped, women, and things like that in Liberia. And we received feedback, and because of that, we decided to continue this conversation on our Fresh Off the Stand segment today. Now, this is a very pressing issue in our society right now, and this show right now for this segment, we want to focus on how men can help to curb the rape culture. We women, we're yelling, we're screaming, and there are men that are yelling and screaming, but we just want to find out how can they assist to curb the rape culture. And one of the things that got me going was the 3-year-old girl that was raped by a 15-year-old. And after hearing a lot of the details that he basically tore open, and I'm going to be very candid with it, he tore open her vagina with a razor blade so he could penetrate her more. I mean, that's disturbing. Women are being raped to death. And I think we need to yell a little bit more and get this going. Now, ladies, I have a question for you. And men will get a chance to call in later on. How can men, from a woman's perspective, help to curb the rape culture in Liberia and Africa as a whole?
I'm going to say, me personally, you all need to speak up. It's not just the women that need to speak up. I feel like the men need to speak up as well. Fight for your sisters, fight for your mothers, fight for your friends, your female cousins, fight. And if it means you going to that person, because you have to understand something, most men that I know, or from what I know of men that violate women and do things like that, they usually aren't capable of standing up to another man, because they pick on the weaker person. So I feel like if you have other cousins, other male friends and cousins, stuff like that, I'm not saying take the law into your own hand and go kill or shoot anyone, but if you got to drag his ass to the police station, I'm sorry, drag him. Okay? If you got to rough him up. That's all I'm saying. Like, speak up and do something. Don't be in the background. Don't be like everybody else saying, "Oh, just leave it, you don't want to spoil Neil. You don't want to say." Nobody cares about that. Nobody cares about that at this point. You have a child, a mother, or wife, or whoever has been violated. You need to speak up and stand up for them because they need that support. They don't need anybody shaming them. Support. That's all I have to say on that.
I would like to say rape is such a very harsh word, and this is something that happened from ages to ages. And when it comes to a Liberian man, they feel like those things, ripping people, or even an older man being with a 12-year or 10-year is rape. It's still considered rape. I think it's something fashionable in our society, and people don't like to talk about it because it's feel like it's like a taboo that nobody should speak about it. Like the first show I said, you may think that you would get away with this, but you can never get away with it. And also remember, you have family, you have grandkids, and like the Bible says, everything you do, it comes after you, from your generation to your generation. If you think you're gonna hurt somebody else's kid, you're gonna sleep with them, you're gonna at the age of 10, 12, 13, and you think you're getting away with it, you can't get away with it. It's impossible. So stop rape, stop sleeping with people with kids, teach your kids, train your kids, talk to your boys. Um, the case with the little boy ripping a little girl, I, you know, even though he's a kid, but also I think parents need to start talking to the kids. What sex is about? Why do you have sex? What age you need to have sex? So again, men, that is the conversation. Come out and talk about it because you have sisters, you have cousins, you have daughters, and you have mothers. So that's what I would like to talk on that.
Yeah, I was arguing with not arguing, but a man that posted today, and one of his reasons, was that women should parent their daughters a little bit more. And for me, I jumped on that. I was like, okay, so what should the fathers do? Do they not have equal, or I could say even more responsibility into that, to make sure that they're there for their daughters, even the boys? Let's not leave out the boys, because boys do get raped. That it's the responsibility of both parents, and you can't put it on, say, oh, the mother needs to do this more or this or that. It's both parents. It's both parents. That's just the bottom line.
Yeah.
Another question I have is, even though boys do get raped, but a lot of it that we hear reported is girls being raped. How can we better train our boys or show them that rape is wrong and that they shouldn't do this, or that they should disengage from this, because whatever it is that we're doing now is not working. What more do we need to do?
Can I take it?
Yes, you can.
Okay. I feel like some of this starts from kids being, when the kids are very young. You need to start teaching a boy, a girl, whoever, no. You shouldn't be afraid to say no to your child and let no be no. Yes. Because some of what happens is, I'm not saying that's all of the reason or that's the entire reason, or, but I think partially because some kids grow up not understanding what it means not to have what you want all the time. If you cannot have it, does not mean you're going to die. It's not mean someone's going, this is the same reason why kids steal, why people steal, why this, no, because they are used to having and getting anything that they want, rather than being taught the value of working for something. Okay, so boys need to be taught that you are going to have to put in work for a woman that you want. That taking her is not the answer. That's not you. No, it's not yours. You can't take it. Her private area does not belong to you. It belongs to her. That's why it's on her. Mm-hmm.
Yes. And as far as the fathers in the home, I agree that the fathers need to take more responsibility and make sure that they're talking to their boys. Most of the time, you notice women, when there are women that are raising boys, they're a little afraid to have the sex conversation. So even us as mothers have to get to that comfort zone to know that we have to have this conversation We have to be able to sit our boys down and tell them the things that they need to know. That when a woman say no, that she means no. Don't think the opposite. That's saying that, oh, when a girl saying no, she really likes you. That's some of their beliefs. No, no is no. You need to take it as that and keep your hands off. So it's just important that as fathers, they take their responsibilities in their home to really talk to their boys, and even as single parents, as mothers, do the same as well. It's hard sometimes to talk to boys about sex, but we have to get in a comfort zone to know that if we are not having these conversations with our children, they will think that they're okay with whatever they see on TV. That's what's supposed to happen. So we need to start having that hardcore conversation. It starts from home.
Absolutely.
Yes.
And that leads me into the next question that I had. Anybody else want to add to that?
No, I don't think so.
Okay. It leads into the next question I had. Do you think that the way we raise boys and girls plays a role in rape? Like how sometimes girls are more protected, like, oh, you can't do this, you do that, you can't do that, but boys are let free to sometimes just do what they want to do, especially when it comes to sex and things like that. It's like, oh, let boys be boys. Do you think that plays a factor in that?
Yes.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah, because I think the mentality, and I'm going to speak personally for me. I think the mentality that some of us have, and I'm just saying maybe it's not so much of a mentality, but how I look at it is I'm afraid, yes, I have a 6-year-old now. She's not old enough, but I'm afraid, when she gets older to start letting her go over to friend's house and things like that. And I don't know what goes on there. And I don't want somebody to violate her and then she ends up pregnant versus, me not thinking that, hey, my son could go to somebody's child's house and daughter's house and go get them pregnant or rape them. You understand? Because I'm thinking he's the one with the stick and she's the one with the hole, that in a due course, if she, if somebody puts it in the hole versus, the other way. So I don't know if that makes sense, but I mean, because he can't come home with the baby. If he gets somebody pregnant, she's staying home with her parents. But if my daughter gets pregnant, she's coming home to me with the baby, right? Mm-hmm. And then I feel like as women, we're more vulnerable, we're more soft, and versus guys who are able to take care of themselves. So I think it's a big difference, and that's why we sometimes as parents feel like that, because hey, the boys are tougher, they can handle themselves, and the girls need to be sheltered. But I don't think that's always a good thing, because like how I said, I think you need to be able to talk to the kids, because sometimes even when you shelter girls a little too much, once they do enter into the world, they want to go Bucky Wild Girl. Mm-hmm. You know what I'm saying? Yeah. End up putting ourselves into situations we shouldn't be put into and going places we shouldn't be going into. So yeah.
Yeah, so I agree. I agree with some of what you said as far as we need to be able to raise our children, and not just raising our children, but have conversation with our children together. There are certain conversations that they say, oh, you can only have with a boy, or certain conversation you can only have with a girl, but they need to know what's right and what's wrong. And I agree that you have to start this conversation at an early age. Stop waiting until the child be like teenager. Oh, I have to wait until the child turns a certain age before I have this conversation with that child. They're teaching our children about sex in school at the age of 8, 9 years old, or even earlier than that. So meanwhile, we're at home saying that, oh, that child not old enough for us to have this discussion with them yet. Then until it is too late, then you realize like, wait, I should have talked to this child early on. You see, I will talk about our Liberian people, because I guess that's who I'm more familiar with, is the fact that certain conversation we think is taboo for our children to hear. No, sex is important. It's out there. They see it on TV. Start talking to them about it. Start talking to them at an early age, just so they're more aware, so that they know the right and wrong in it.
Yeah.
So I just feel like as parents, we need to do a better job in talking to our children from an early start, just to prevent some of these issues from happening later on. So I don't feel like there should be a difference between when you should have a conversation with a boy and a girl, because sometimes I feel like the boys need a conversation later because he's a man now, and the girls, oh wait, you're running too fast. No, let's talk about it now. Now it's important. Yeah.
Yeah, most definitely. I mean, it's we in our community don't talk about it much. You know, like even with the girls and our menstrual cycle, it's like all the conversations are just like put under the rug for whatever reason, and we never have these conversations with boys, the girls, and it's just put out, never talked about, and then we end up with this I call it an epidemic in Liberia, because I was reading yesterday that we have, just from January to now, we have over 900 and something reported rape cases. So can you imagine the cases that were swept under the rug, or the family decided to do it, the family, instead of bringing it out to this, and report it to the authorities? I can almost say that number is probably double. So with that being said, there's been some things about how can we prevent it. For me, it's not just putting people in jail. How can we prevent it? Because we put people in jail, that's a reactive stance. How can we be proactive? And what are other penalties for these rapists besides just putting them in jail?
Like I said, parenting is a big deal. Parenting in Liberia used to be great when we were growing up, but my little visitation there a couple of months ago and a couple of years ago, I think parenting is very bad there. People give leeway for girls to get raped. If you send your 10-year-old to go sell water in the street with no supervision, you expect a young little boy to be knocking her butt, and from knocking her butt, she don't even know what is going on. She have no clue why he's doing that. But maybe this little boy been in the street for so many years, been selling water for maybe since he was 10 years or 9 years or so, he been in the street. So again, parenting is the big thing. I want to speak for the Liberian parents out there in Liberia. Stop sending your little kids out there. If you want to sell market, if you want to support your family, you go in the street and sell cold water. You as a mother, that kid did not ask you or did not ask to be born. So how I feel about that, you take yourself as a grown up and go sell water. Because the last time I remember when the war came and my mother didn't have the chance to work in the bank because all her life she worked in the bank. My mother had doll baby on her head. She didn't send me out to go sell doll baby. She didn't send me out to go sell cold water or socket liquid Kool-Aid. No. She went out there herself. And she had that thing on her head. A woman that know herself, been in the bank, big woman, hold a walkie, been there, but she understood the situation at that time. So every parent must sit home and send a 10-year-old, a 9-year-old, a 8-year-old to go sell a pack of gum or water. Shame on you. Take your market yourself and go sell it and stop putting those kids at rates. So that's why I want to speak to the Liberian parenting in Liberia. It needs to change. For rape to get lower, for kids to start being raped, parenting in Liberia needs to change. That's it.
Anybody else have any comments about prevention? Jennifer?
I just want to piggyback on what Rose was saying as far as the parents in Liberia. I think that I don't think I understand where she's coming from as far as making sure that you are not putting your kids out there. But regardless if they're outside selling or not, you have to remember that these people have access to the children even in their homes. So even if that mom is not sending their child outside, there's still adults that have access to them. And remember, most of these cases are people that you trust. So we have to remember that. So having those conversations with our children is still important. And another thing is we're so focused on the girls. I want us to remember to talk to the boys as well.
Mm-hmm.
I always say I have a 13-year-old boy, and I tell him when I started bathing him, he was 6 years old. So I don't remember what his penis looked like. So recently I seen it and I was like, yo, let's have a talk. So we sat down, we talked, and I asked him, I said, are there things coming out? Is there any kind of fluid coming out of your penis and stuff? And when I told him that, he was like, oh my God, babe, why are you saying that to him? Those are the important conversations. It needs to happen. He needs to know when he have an urge, what is that about? All of those conversations, I think that even though we focus on the little girls, we should also remember the little boys as well.
Oh yes,
yes,
definitely. I mean, Rose, Ivis, there was a comment from a. Well, I have one more. Like we already talked, set into it. Now, does and I think Rose already touched on this. Does poverty play a role in our statutory rape sector? Now, statutory rape is when older person, and even though the younger person is a child, but they think they're consenting to sex with an older person when really it's considered a form of rape. Does poverty play a role in our society with that?
Well, I've heard from some people that poverty does play a role, because if you take, for instance, a mother who maybe doesn't have her husband around, he's passed away, or she's single and has to be caring for all these kids and doesn't have the financial help. Let's say she has a 14-year-old, a 13-year-old, and then the father comes along or not father, but a man comes along and says, hey, I like your daughter or whatever. I want to, I want to have her, So when he gets her, then he'll be bringing a little money to the house, bag of rice here and there, things like that or whatsoever. And the conversation me and someone was having is that, as a mother struggling, what do? You understand? This man is coming to you. He's offering to, pay for things in your house, buy you rice, help you with food and things like that so he can have your daughter. And what do you really do when you're struggling? You're in poverty. I'm not saying I agree with it. Don't get me wrong. Right. But I'm putting the question out there. What do you do?
What do you do as a parent? You be a parent. You be a parent.
Go ahead, Rose.
What do you do as a parent? Again, you go out there, you don't accept that offer. And one thing I would say, if you want to sleep around, go sleep around for your kids. Don't put your kids up front to sleep with someone to provide for you. You're a failure. If you ever do that as a mother, you want to sleep around to provide for your kids, go and sleep around because you're a mother. But if you take your kids and give it to an older guy because of money, you're a failure. You have failed your child. You have failed your community. You have failed the world. That you are able to offer your kid to another man to sleep with him because he wants to provide for your home. How dare you? There's no compromise with that.
And I think some of our parents look at children as commodities, like how they do the diaries and stuff like that for the kids. Yeah. And then it's like, okay, from the beginning of a girl's life, how can we train her to be a wife? How can we train her to be a mother? How can we train her to do this, and thing? And not training her how to be a woman per se, or train her at a young age that she has to start cooking. She can't play with doll babies. And I've gone to Liberia plenty of times, and I've seen girls that are 7 and 8 years old that they take them. Oh, what are you doing playing with that doll baby? You know you're supposed to be in the kitchen cooking, or you're supposed to be getting ready, and you're a woman now. And I'm like, she's 8 years old. This is what she's supposed to be doing at this age. But some are like, oh, that's that American thing. I don't bring it here. But it's not American. It's not American. We cannot look at our girls at, oh, you need to be a good wife for a husband, and look at the boys, or, oh, you have to make the money to provide for your wife. There are roles that we put the kids in, and that we put everybody in, that they shouldn't be in. And like Rose said, I will do whatever it is for my child. If I have to sell myself or do whatever, instead of sending my child out there to do something like that, I would be the one out there. Or if we selling, we are foot to foot.
Yes.
Both of us would be out there all day, sunshine, rain, or whatever I have to do, than to put my young child out there. It pains me when you see the fathers who are giving out their daughters. You know, men have this special relationship with their daughters. And so for you to give your child out there and not have a conscience about it, to me, it's just disturbing. It really disturbs me.
Absolutely. And I mean, as far as we are the ladies of LIB Talks, we will continue to share light on this topic. We are not done with it. We will continue to speak on it until change happens. So we're not leaving it alone. We appreciate all of your comments and all of your inputs. Even if we're not answering now, we're going to answer you guys at the end of the show. So thank you for commenting. Thank you for sharing. We definitely appreciate you tuning in. So now we'll be moving on to our candidate speaking topic with Ms. Hawa.
I was thinking, Eva, maybe do you want to read a few comments? Because I feel like our candidate speaking topic would have a lot more comments. So what do you want to do? Do you want to read a few comments about rape, about some people touch, before we move on to our candidate speaking topics?
Yeah. Gladys Wilson says, yes, economic disparities and parenting definitely an issue. I am sure we have child care laws, but who will implement those laws? And Gold Queen said, this is very touching subject. Let's not be judgmental.
Yeah.
Our goal is
can I comment on that person being talking about judgmental? And that is the problem with Liberian people. We as Liberian. And I'm so glad that, we are not, nobody here is special that God took us from Liberia to bring us to another country. But the reason he did that, because he wanted us to learn something better. He wanted us to see what is real, and this platform not going to speak on or how people feel. We love you. We love your comments, but we want to give it to people because this is where people have to learn. Nobody being judgmental, but again, like I said, if you're a parent and you need to provide for your home, you go and sleep with other men. Do not put your kid in the front. If you have done that, you are a failure to our community, to the society, and to your family. And we're not going to take that back.
So I'll read Faith Joy Pekin's comment. She said, have you ever thought that parents in Liberia are only doing what they know? Who parent them? Their upbringing as well. Let's be a bit mindful that some parents has no choice, yet their choices are not healthy. However, their decision may either comes from how they were raised or economic problems that forces them into sending their young ones to sell. Just a thought. Fit Joy, you are right. However, we need parents to take more responsibility. Just be a little bit more cautious of sending your children out there. I think that's our major point right now, is not to put parenting down anywhere, because you got good parents and you got okay parents everywhere. So we're not putting parenting down. However, we want parents to just be a little bit more cautious in our decision to send a little 10-year-old girl or that little boy. Because if we as parents, we know what we're doing. Those children, they're just going because we're sending them there. So just be more cautious in your decisions to send your children out there, and just be more attentive to your children. That's all we are trying to say. Because if you send a little girl out there for 2-3 hours selling, you don't know what's going on. You don't know what she's doing out there. If you want to do market with your children, build a little place. Sit there with them. Teach them the marketing. But be in there. Be always with them. That they're not by themselves, especially at that vulnerable age. So that is our main point. Thank you guys so much for all of your comments. We appreciate y'all. Keep commenting. But we're going to move on now to tonight's candidly speaking topic. And just as important as the issue of rape, tonight's candidly speaking topic is going to touch everyone's heart. Remember that song by the rapper Eve? It goes like, love is blind and it will take over your mind. And it says, what you think is love? It's truly not. You need to elevate and find. I know everybody's kind of familiar with that song, but that's not pretty much talking about somebody who had been abused and she's singing towards how she hates this person for doing that to her friend. It is true that as women, especially, we find ourselves in a merry-go-round relationships that we know are not good for us. But at what point do we realize that this relationship has gone past the point of not good? Just plain old toxic. Today, we want to share some light on domestic violence or domestic abuse, and in hopes to bring healing and comfort to someone, women or men, who may feel stuck or alone. So this issue of domestic violence, we continue to see it. This week, we saw something disturbing on Facebook. If everyone's been on Facebook, very, very disturbing. It is sickening that we are in this generation, we're still experiencing this issue. I would say that maybe people are a little more cautious. I thought, that was my mindset, that because we're outside in the States, that we'll be a little bit more cautious, especially men, of how you treat women just because of the legal issue that you could face in this country. However, this is still happening. This is still happening. So tonight we're gonna try to control our emotions while we talk about it, but we apologize now to everybody if we get a bit emotional, because this topic is very emotional. So we'll start from the beginning. Ladies, what is domestic violence or domestic abuse? What do you think domestic violence is or domestic abuse? Go by the textbook definition or the Wikipedia definition of what domestic violence is. It's a pattern of controlling behavior. It can be physical, verbal, sexual, emotional. It's a person, regardless of your gender, regardless of your sex, regardless of your age, regardless of anything, your ethnicity, your religion. Domestic violence is affecting everyone in every society. So it's something that we know that it's been happening, that it used to happen before. People being beaten, women, children in their homes getting beaten. And this is a circle that just continues. So we have to shine light on it to say, when would it stop? So I would love for each of you to just take a time to think of, what have you experienced or seen or heard of that contributed to domestic violence that you want to just talk about right now?
Okay.
Anybody?
All right, I'll come in. I think that as a teenager growing up and a young adult starting to date, I think that whatever we witness as children, we basically thought that was how it's supposed to be. So when I say that, I mean some people, some of us, we experience it as a child with our parents, whether it's the way that your daddy spoke to your mom, whether it's the way that your mom, spoke to your dad, whatever the case may be. You grow up thinking that is the norm. You grow up thinking that there's this mindset that if the man is jealous, if the man is asking questions and wants to be controlling, that means he loves you. That means he cares for you. So as a young adult, that's what I had in my mind. So I never understood the telltale sign. I didn't see it because it was like, oh, this is love. So if he's yelling at me, whether I have my phone in my hand and he's asking me a question, he snatched the phone out of my hand, all of these things are normal because that's like I've seen it before with an auntie, with a bigger cousin or whatever, and it's a normal thing. So nothing will go on in my head to say, ding dong, this is wrong. So I think that's how it starts. If you don't know that this is a problem, you're just gonna allow the baby things until it get to the big ones.
Anyone else?
So when I want to just go back mentally. A lot of men walking around, they are very mentally disturbed. They have mental problems. Maybe it came from the bringing up, that they didn't have the chance to express to their parents, what they saw, and it have affected them or is still affecting them all through their other life. They may have seen something before and not having to go to counseling to be able to let that go, to figure out why someone else has did it to someone else. So I think domestic violence is it comes from the mental part, because if someone decides to put his hands on another person, it's mental. It is like maybe you saw it before, or you were never confronted before and you continue to do it, or you meet a girl that have a low self-esteem and don't know what life is about, don't know how to go forward in life, but it's bad. It's bad. Sometimes it leads to people losing something, some part of their body. It leads to people losing a life, but I would not say on the show I was a victim. I went through that before, but I'm not a victim. I know that my story today will help someone. I know as we go through the show and I share my story with people on this show, it's going to help people. Someone out there needs help. Someone out there trying to figure out, how can I get out of here? How can I leave? What's going to become of me? How will I survive? Is there a hope out there for me without this man? So, as we go along the show, I'm going to share my story, because that's what we're about on LIB Talks. We are here to be real. We are here to share with the public things that we've been through and things that, we have gone through in our life, and we have changed, for the better.
Anybody else? So
go
ahead.
Sorry, we had a little technical.
Go ahead, Ivis.
Where are we?
Women get abused, but we cannot leave out the men also. Men don't talk about it. They don't say much about it, but there are abusive women, and I'm going to put that out there. I've seen them. But it's just women report more and women put it out there because men don't want to be like they're weak or whatever, but it affects the men also. And we have to be candid about that discussion also.
Of course. Yeah, so the question now is, who do we think is most affected? We know men also get abused, but we have to also remember that the children, the people that are witnessing this act, are also experiencing some form of trauma. some of them are traumatized for the things that they see their parents experience, their mother experienced, even their fathers experienced. So some example of, or may I just put it out there, what are some example of an abusive behaviors that you have seen or heard of that will alert you that, hey, you should be a little bit more cautious. Hey, you should pay more attention to that. Or it's not just jealousy. Oh, he's not just getting mad or wanting to be in control. Because you, like everybody say, you want your man to be in control, but sometimes they take it to an extent. So, what are some examples of abusive behavior that we each can speak on that will tell somebody, like, just because he's controlling what time he wants to tell you what time you come home or who you're on the phone with, or that's the start. Jennifer talked about that earlier. That's the start. But we all need to be aware of some of these behavior that lead to a greater issue later on.
Yes.
So just let's talk about some of the example of abusive behavior so we can make people aware that this is what that you should expect, or this can be happening, or if you're experiencing it, be cautious.
Yes.
Okay. I'm gonna go ahead. You sure? Okay. I'm speaking from personal experience. Okay. Some of the signs that I wish that I had paid attention to that I didn't, and I don't want nobody to be judgmental here to me, okay? Because
no, never. This is a judgment-free zone.
Okay, some people are going to say, "Oh, 3 times," but yes, I have been in an abusive relationship 3 times, okay, with 3 different guys, and I think someone made a comment about it being a cycle. I think a lot of the reasons why I don't know why that is, but I'm just saying I witnessed abuse, and my father was very abusive to my mother when I was growing up, and so I saw these things, and for whatever reason I ended up in them. But when I was younger, yes, I thought it was love, and why are you going this? Oh, I want you to spend time with me. Most of my encounters with my abusers were that they were very clingy to me. It was like they want me on the phone with them 24/7. I got to be on the phone with you from morning, noon, and night. If I try to hang up or go or talk to somebody else or go do something, they would get upset. And then I didn't feel like it was anything like, oh, he loves me, he wants to stay on the phone with me all the time, but it was control. Okay. They wanted control, and how they gain control is by getting you so wrapped up into them that you can't think about anything else, and you think they love you so much. Okay. Sometimes, or it started from a little, they will pull my hand or something, or it will be a little push, or it will be a little smack, then that smack will turn into a punch. It will be a little shove. Next thing, that shove turns into a slap. It will be a little, whatever, and then next thing you know, it turns into choking. I can go on and on and on about this because, like I said, I experienced it 3 times, but every time I was smarter. I noticed it a lot earlier, and I got out a lot earlier when I noticed the signs. But it's so many things that I can tell you, but I don't want to take up the time. But I'll chime in as we go along.
Great.
For me, I was.
Somebody just asked 3 times with 3 different guys. Yes. Like I said, every time I noticed it, I got out a lot.
Got a little smarter.
Got a little smarter. Yeah. So,
for me, I was young. I was in my 20s, and I was dating this older guy. It started out with the controlling part of it. I can't go this place. I can't go that place. Where was I? Why didn't I call you when I come from work? Why didn't I call you? Or it's a minute after this. Where are you? Family's having functions. Oh, where are you going? Why are you going there? You need to spend more time with me. You need to be with me. Yada, yada, yada. We were together for about 7 years. And for me, I'm feisty. I'm not taking nothing for nobody. But I just didn't recognize it as being abuse at that time. I just know that we were gonna deuce it out. So we deuced it out. So one day we went to this comedy show, and the guy that was on the stage was a very attractive man, and I was kind of flirting with him. So we got in the car, and he got so mad that I think he was reaching for my face, but he said he wasn't. But he went past my face and hit the dashboard. And at that point, I was like, oh, no, no, no. This is reaching somewhere it should not reach. So being the strong woman I was, even though I was hurting a lot, the next day, I ended it. And it hurts. I'm not going to lie. It hurts. It hurt. It hurt. It hurts. But I knew I couldn't go through that because the next time it was going to be my face. I just knew I couldn't do it. But it really hurt me because I really thought I loved him. But since then, I'm just cautious about people in control and stuff like that.
Rose, for me, I have never been in abusive relationship. I think until my marriage, and I remember the first day that I caught him that he was abusive. I knew he was a man that are used to abusing women. I remember the first day we was having a conversation, and the first thing, like Eva said, the first thing he came and he took his hands and rubbed it all in my face. And I'm like, what? What is that about? So right there, I said to him, I'm leaving tonight. I said, if I don't leave tonight, you have to write me a letter telling me you would never, ever lift your hands up again. I said, because what you just did, something is wrong with you. So, it was just that. And I'm like, oh my God, wow. Because this person is my friend. It's someone that have been knowing all my life since I was like 10 years old. For him to want to do that to me, I'm like, wow, this is mental. So I remember he wrote the letter that night because I started packing my bags. I'm leaving. So he wrote the letter and he said, oh, I would never put my hands on you. But weeks went by. Every time we have a conversation or confrontation, he says, what kind of woman that let her husband write a letter saying he's not going to beat her up? I'm like, why you keep talking about this letter? If you're not going to beat me up, if you don't have no intention, why focus on this letter? And it went from that to everything else. Then I started noticing, then I started paying more attention to things. So I started noticing him flipping, nothing. He acts up, he gets so angry, he goes off the top, cursing, and I'm like, oh no, this is crazy, until one night, and I would tell all the women on this show, even men or women, people will kill you if you don't pay attention in relationships. People will take your life for nothing. And at the end of the day, they won't even think why they did what they did. Because I remember the last night that I said to myself, this marriage not gonna work. That night, everything was fine. We went to a party. We was there. Everybody was chilling. We kind of had to drop his cousin off because his cousin was kind of tipsy. So he drove his cousin's car and I drove my car. And we get into a confrontation. And I run home and I lock all the doors. And I'm like, oh my God, what is going on? And he comes home and he's beating the door. And his cousin with him. His cousin like, oh no, he won't do nothing. I'll come inside. He's fine. And he comes inside. He runs in the room. He takes my pocketbook. He wastes everything in it. And he wants to grab me, and the cousin like, yo, my man, chill. So I decided to run. We're talking about 2 o'clock in the morning. 2 o'clock in the morning in Ohio, it's cold. and all I have on is my nice shirt, and I finally try to get a pants to put on. No slippers, nothing, no cell phone, nothing. I run into a payphone to go and call my cousin or call the cops, and I'm tossing. I'm the cousin telling him, leave the girl, let the girl leave, And he's there. He's like, I'm gonna kill her. And you're thinking, oh my God, this is my husband. This is someone that know me. Apart from us being husbands and wife, he's my friend. And I kind of happened to escape, running in the cold, winter, in a cold winter, running with no slippers on. And I'm running. And he gets to leave the house. I think his cousin kind of was trying to find clothes for me, find shoes for me. And he happened to run away. And when he happens to find me, that boy got me, dropped me on the ground, punched me in the eye. He was about to stomp my head into the ground. And all I saw was his cousin coming with the car and dropping him to the floor. But I want to say, you would think that a person like that, very good in the community, I'm telling you, people love him in the community. There's nothing he won't do for nobody in that community. Even if I came up and told him that he was a killer or he have a mental problem, they would never believe me. So his cousin come, I'm on the ground, 3:00 in the morning in the cold, no shoes, nothing. I'm on the ground, and his cousin come knocking to the ground and pick me up, runs with me in his car. And he comes there beating the ball car, trying to dent the car, say, bring her out. I want to kill her. We go home. The cousin take me to his house. We wake up in the morning. That same guy that wanted to beat me, he comes to the house the next morning with flowers, telling me, baby, come home. I'm sorry.
Ayaka.
So, to say that when I say it's mental, people have problems. People have problems. And we as Liberians, we feel like we don't want to share. We don't want to go to counseling. We don't want to go to therapy. We don't want to seek intervention, And it's here. You live in a great country. Intervention are here. Therapy is here. Counseling is here. Go and get it. I was mentally abused, physically abused, emotionally abused. I felt like I wanted to kill this guy. I felt like I could take a life. A person like me, that I'm so loving. People know me in the community and they know that, for me to think I want to kill someone, I was messed up. And none of my friends didn't even know that. Not even my family, But again, there's always hope out there. I got out. I didn't have nothing. I came back to Philly with nothing. I slept on my mom's couch on the ground until today. I'm where I am today. So, I want to speak to women out there. So never think that a man, or even a man that with a woman, that there's no way out, because there is a way out. One thing, once there is life, there is hope. Don't stay there and get killed. Don't stay there and lose a body part.
Yeah.
I wish I had a picture, because my entire eye was about to come out. And you think, because I wanted to be married, because all my friends married, I want to stay there. No, it's unacceptable. Yep. Nobody is allowed to put their hands on anybody. I don't care what you have and who you are. He didn't go to jail. That's one thing I would say to myself that I didn't do for him to go to jail, because he was supposed to go to jail. And sometimes I beat myself for that. But I said to myself, 99 days for Roe, 1 day for master. If I didn't put you to jail, some other girl will put you to jail.
Yes.
If you don't change your behavior, if you don't change your attitude, if you don't change your life, somebody else will put you to jail.
Yes.
Let me share.
Rose, thank you.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you, Rose.
Let me share a little. I just want to let people know how serious this whole domestic abuse can be. And I'll try to be quick. The reason why I was able to get to the point where I knew that I had to run, otherwise I would die, is because I saw it firsthand for myself when my cousin was stabbed right in front of me by her boyfriend, her daughter's father. She was in an abusive relationship with him for years and hid it from the entire family, even hid her child. And when she finally had enough, she tried to run. And that's the thing, when you have some of these men who are already sick in the head, they can't take no for an answer. It's the big words that you have to, the one phrase that if a man or a woman tells you this, you take it so serious and don't take it light. If I can't have you, nobody else can. That is true. Don't take anybody for a joke when they say that. And he said those words to her and came over to my house and killed my cousin right in front of me.
Oh my God.
That right there was an eye opener. Yet it's still, even though I found myself in these things, it was an eye opener for me, because once I got to that point of my ex-husband choked me to the point where I started to see lights. Eyes rolled in the back of my head. But I started praying. For whatever reason, he stopped. The next day, I packed my things, I left. Again, like Rose said, they would come back, they beg. Another ex beat me so bad, I was in the hospital. I had contusions, a broken arm. Okay? And he had PTSD because he was in the war. And like somebody had commented, I had friends and things like that. And back in the days when I was talking, a lot of people didn't believe me. They thought I lied. Whatever reason, these things make you even shy away from your friends and your family. You become very sheltered. You become closed. Because for me, I'm gonna be honest, especially my ex-fiance, not my ex-husband, but my ex-fiance. The reason I didn't speak up was because I was afraid, I was ashamed. That people would say, oh, there goes another relationship that didn't work out again. Oh, she's going to move to another man again. Oh, I didn't have anything. It's like I left everything and moved with this man. And here I was about to lose everything. My car, computer, phone, everything. I left it and I ran. I mean, this man had even point a gun to my head. In the middle of the night, woke up and I found a gun in the middle of my head. And I thought that was the end of my life. Okay? It wasn't bad enough that he had knocked me out cold for hours. And I don't think... Sorry. Oh.
It's okay.
It's okay, Mama.
It's okay, Ivis.
Survive.
You survive, and now you're encouraging someone else who is experiencing it that they can get out.
Yeah.
That is the most important part of this show right now, is that we have to be able to encourage someone else that I got out of it, you can get out.
Yes.
This topic is so important. This week we saw a very violent picture on Facebook. We don't know details of the story, but it was disturbing. And we knew that this topic would just resonate on a lot of people. So we're reading the comments. Even if we are unable to get to all the comments tonight, we have our show that we have viewers insight, that we take those comments and we come back on and talk about those things, that your input.
Yes.
This some of the, I don't even want to go over what is written down, because I feel as though what my co-hosts have experienced is more real than what is written down on papers. So we are hoping you guys can hear their stories and really take notes and know that you can make it. You can get out of it. Don't blame yourself for what he's doing. His mental state is not your fault.
No.
The crazy thoughts that are in his mind is not your fault. Stop blaming yourself. It's very emotional. But we have to be able to talk about it to let these evil people know that you cannot do that. Because it's not just about men and women. It's about men, women doing it also to men.
Yeah.
And then most importantly, to the children. And we were just talking about parenting style. These children are being raised in these abusive homes that they think it's okay, and the circle continues. It has to stop.
Yes.
I would like to highlight on that. I remember, so during the abuse, because there was a lot of things that was happening in the house. So I had to take my son out of there and send to my mother in Philly. That was one of the hardest thing in my life, to be separated from my son. I had to send my son to Philly. I woke up, my son had to go to school, and I wasn't here. My mom wasn't driving. My son had to take the bus everywhere. My mom was there for me. And I remember one time I came to Philly, and I was supposed to leave that Sunday. And I went to my son. I was like, oh, I'm about to leave. I'm about to go back to Ohio. My son is like 10 years old, 10, 11 years old. My son said to me, Mom, why are you going back to that place? If nothing hurt me before in my life, I said to myself, so my son knows what's going on. So what is he thinking? An 11-year-old little boy thinking, why is my mom accepting me? If I can figure it out,
yes,
why is she going back? What is there for her? You know, so even when I was going back, I got so sick, I started throwing out. I couldn't even drive back. You know, and to speak on that, you know, that people worry about, oh, she in this other relationship, she's in another relationship. For me, I don't worry about stuff like that. If it don't work out, I'm going. I didn't born, me and you didn't, when I'm born together, your mother and my mother did not sign no paper. If we don't work out, if you are not a good person, because you have to be a good person before you be a good husband. You have to be a good person before you be a good boyfriend or a good girlfriend or a good wife. And if you're not a good person, I'm not going to waste my time with you. I don't care what people say, as well as Liberian people, oh, we're counting her boyfriend. You can count all you want to count because you never experienced what I had experienced in my relationship. So I don't owe nothing to nobody. I owe it to myself to make sure I am in a good position in life. And to all the women out there, don't worry about your friends. What they think about you, what they say about you. Don't stay with a man that continues to abuse you and you want to stay there because your girlfriend said, oh, that's number 13. They can go to the devil. Because you know what? Because God has blessed them with good relationship and he didn't bless you with one, you will keep searching until you find the right one.
Yes.
That's what life is about. When you're about to find the right one, you will stay to where you need to stay to. When if not the right one, they can call the forum on Facebook, on the telephone, gossip. It won't do nothing for your life.
Because you know what they did tomorrow when you die, they will be to the party enjoying themselves. They will be traveling the world and doing what they have to do in their own life.
Yep.
So this abuse thing is very important. You know, people lose their life. Even our mothers stay with men for so many years to get abused. They don't leave because they think they're old. You know, I watch older people get abused and they say to themselves, "Oh my child, you know, you just say what the devil you know, then the angel you don't know." That's what they say to us. You gonna say that to me? What you expect me to do if I find a man that is abusive?
That is true.
You know,
That is very true.
you know. So I ain't gonna stand with no devil I know. If you a devil, you're gonna be going.
Yes.
And I will be running to find an angel until he's the right angel. You know. So again, the kids, you know, I don't think if I ever had a conversation with my kid about me being in Ohio, you know, I think I am going to have a conversation with him after this show because I know that he knew what was going on, and he's watched some things, and I think I kind of like put it over the rock and say he's a kid. But those are the things that kids go along and they get boyfriends, they get girlfriends, you know, or girls get boyfriends, and it's like, oh, you know, I can do it because I saw my mother or my father accept it, you know. So after this show, I am going to talk to my son about that, you know.
Thank you, Rose.
Thank you.
Thank you so much, Rose. We do want to read some of the viewers' comment because they are just as engaged in this conversation as we are.
Yeah.
So it's important that we don't skip some of their comments. I know I've missed a couple. But I wanted to read Jipa Sekou Kamara's comment. He said, "It is unfortunate that society places burden of proof on women. I'm glad you guys are sharing light on this subject." Thank you, Jiba. I see that you're commenting a whole lot and that you're taking pride in the fact that we're able to share stories and just be as open and real about experiences. This is what this platform is about. So we'll continue to read your comments even as the show goes on. Eva?
I have a couple of comments. Minerva Grant says, know all about it. Know all about it. Most of the time, people stay on a relationship for the children, forgetting they are hurting the children too. These children grow up not believing in love or good relationship. Get out. You will not be the first single mother or father. Wonderful comments.
Wonderful comment.
Also, Paulina, if I mess up your name, please forgive me.
Paulina
Cold Hardy. If your destiny is too bright, the enemy has seen a glimpse of it. So he wants to destroy you. Keep standing. You are who God say you are.
Amen.
Amen.
So, amen. We're going to go ahead, Hawa. Go ahead, Jennifer.
Oh, I was just going to say one of our co-hosts have to leave us, but we're gonna continue this conversation for like 2 more minutes. So let's just continue to read the comments, and we're gonna say goodbye to Hawa. She has an emergency. So, but let's continue the conversation. Thank you, Hawa.
Thank you, guys.
I have one comment I want to read from the men, and we shouldn't leave some of the men out of this. Let me see. Cyrus Kojoli III says, please, can she share some of her contributions that led to their actions? Most of us guys need serious help, but at the same time, I personally believe some of the abuse most women contribute, but still don't give the guy the full right. So let's hear some of the contributions. Yes, most men are, but women too do abuse men. Cyrus, I'm not sure if you're saying in the sense of that the women contributed to the men abusing them, or you're saying that women abuse men also. I agree with that second part, but with the first part, It doesn't matter what a person do to you or says to you. Hitting them or abusing them is not acceptable anywhere. So it contribute. I don't understand contribute. I mean, if you have a woman that sometimes might jump a man to fight or whatsoever, then she's the aggressor. She's the abuser. She didn't contribute to her abuse. She's the one that's starting that abuse. But if you as a man are so hit a woman or is controlling or this, that, and the other, and here we're not saying that men don't do this. And this is our initial conversation. We're going to have these shows on LIB Talks. This is not going to be the first show or whatever, because this subject is so broad and so sensitive to others. But for this show, we're focusing on our experience and what we've gone through. Next time, if a man wants to stand up and say, I was abused, this is what happened to me, you're more than welcome to bring you on here so you can share your experiences and let us know, and then bring that side of our society out.
Yes.
But some of the I don't know if you want to take it, Jennifer. I know how I had to leave. I can continue, or if you want to continue, I can.
Yeah, can you please?
Some of the.
I apologize. It's been raining out here, so my internet is tripping. My apologies. Yeah.
Now, what are the characteristics of victims, to name a few? There is lack of trust. There's shame. We feel that we're shamed. We feel guilty that we're the ones that brought this upon us. We feel fearful. A lot of it sometimes had to do with dependency, isolation, denying the feelings that, oh, he loves me. Oh, it's just, normal. Especially when we experience it with our parents, we think that, oh, this is how it is. This is how it should be. This is how I'm used to saying it. And for back home, sometimes a lot of it is dependency. We have a society, I think, that is set up as where women, like they said, when the women stay home and the men take care of the home. And we as women, sometimes we don't know what's going on with the finances. The men is doing everything when it comes to finances. So when we reach these abusive relationships, we feel we don't have nowhere to go. We don't have a penny in our pocket. What are we going to do? How are we going to survive? How are we going to move on? And so that fear and dependency grips us, and we don't know how to move forward. Anybody wants to expand on that?
Yeah. Again, sometimes it has to do with the support from your family. Also, I tell people that when you're growing up or when you become a woman or something, you have to have a support system. A lot of women, the moment they get into a relationship with a man, they cut off their families, and not knowing that the family is a backup. Always watch your back. You can't love a man more than you love yourself or more than you love your family. Remember, he's there to stay sometimes, and sometimes he's never gonna stay. So those are things that you can do. First, when you get into a relationship, make sure you are tight with your family. Let your family be your backbone. Don't let go of your family, especially your mother. Be a friend to your mother, because through my abuse, I remember that my mother was my everything. Even though I didn't tell my friends what was going on, because it was a lot of situations that I had on the table, but my mother was my backbone, and my family was there for me. They were willing to beat the crap out of the girl. But those are things too. And also, when you get into a relationship, make sure you save up. Do not get so comfortable. You don't know who you're meeting. You are a different human being. The guy is a different human being. So when you get into a relationship, put some saving aside. As a woman, you always have to put something aside for your children or for yourself. You know, put that in, make plans, put goals together, put goals in place. You know, if this don't work out, or if this guy decides to beat me up, I can leave tomorrow. You know, I'm not trying to be mentor on here, but I just want us to put in mind that we need to put in plan. When you meet a guy, always have a plan B. You know, okay, I'm gonna save, and if something happens, I can always run away. Or if my family, I'm gonna get in contact with my family, I'm gonna be close to my mother, my cousin, to somebody. Because if you meet an abusive guy and you have no relationship with your family, that's where it comes to that, oh my God, I have nowhere to go. Oh my God, how can I leave this man when he's my everything? And no man can be your everything.
Right.
Nobody can be your everything. You know, I want us women to erase that out of our mind. Nobody can be your everything. You are your everything. You have to love yourself. You have to put yourself first. You have to know the importance of yourself. Before you even take upon someone else's problems and someone else's entire being and say, oh my God, he's so important to me. You know, so all of that has to be put into place. You know, love yourself is the major thing, it's the biggest thing, it's the most important thing, you know, and just keep your plan. Have plan put inside when you meet a guy for the first time, or when you get into a first relationship or a fresh relationship. Even when you're married and you're in a marriage for 20 years, always put plan into place. Always have your plan B. What's going to happen for the next time?
Can I give a different I don't know how to call it, or I mean, I'm going to piggyback, but in a different direction to what Rose is saying. It's not always too about the woman recognizing signs and things like that, because some people, as family, because I speak for myself, I've always been really close to my mother. I had a group of friends that I was very close to, but your family and your friends also have to recognize the signs when they see that something isn't right with their loved one, because we won't always speak up. For me, I didn't speak up because, like I said, a lot of my issue was I was embarrassed. Okay. I was embarrassed. I'm like, geez, I put myself in this crap again. Here I am again doing this. What was it that I missed? You understand? How am I going to explain this again? You know, this relationship isn't going to work again. Now, who, you know what I'm saying? I have to go meet somebody else and start all over again. You know, I pick up my life and uproot my life. I quit my job. What am I going to again? Now I have to go for a new job. I have to go back to my mom and go live with my mom. I have to go back into the same community where people talk and people are going to say this and that about me. Oh, she's back again.
Yes.
So I started to withdraw. You understand? My attitude started to change. So the people around you have to notice the signs too. You say you have somebody that you care about, your sister, your friend, your this and that. When you see them not being who you know they are, check it out. You understand? Don't get upset and say, oh, well, she doesn't want to talk, or, oh, she's acting like this, or she got a stink attitude, she blah. You don't know what's going on, especially if this person is not normally like this. Don't just take that and be like, okay, and throw them away or turn them up, because it hurts more. It hurts more when you're feeling like the people who are the closest to you, the people who should know something is wrong with you, don't know, because not all the time you want to come out and say it. Sometimes you're looking for somebody to recognize that sign and say, hey, are you okay? Is something going on? Do you want to talk about it? Can I help you, find a way out of there? Can I, and so many times, and I, I'm speaking from personal experience, friends that should have known me, that I felt like should have known me, they pretty much turned their back on me during like the roughest time in my life when I was going through this. I'm being beat. I'm being threatened. I mean, in the middle of the night, I will run and go look for a hiding place that he would find me. And then I felt attacked by friends at the same time. So it was like I was cornered. I didn't know who to go to. I didn't know what to say because I just didn't. I was embarrassed. I was ashamed. So as family and as friends, that's how you can help too. Recognize certain signs. Recognize when this person that you knew to be so happy and joyful and laughing all the time and having fun, when they turn into this sheltered person, they don't want to talk anymore. They're really insecure about themselves and about things that they do. Those are signs.
Yeah. So true, Ivis. And sometimes I'm going to put it out there.
Eva, I don't mean to cut you off. I'm not saying it's your responsibility to know something about a grown woman or try to baby a grown woman or anything like that. But I'm just saying in those certain situations, you have to put yourself in somebody's shoes. It's hard. It is hard. I'm sorry, Eva, go ahead.
And sometimes it's not to say to blame the family, sometimes the family push, or sometimes the family are part of the problem too, where they're like, oh, just stay. And we think about things, biblically, oh, they don't believe in divorce and it would bring shame on the family and things like that. And they think about their own, how it's going to look on the family. Or sometimes, you like with marriage or just being in a long-term relationship, it's you finally come out and you tell the family, and some people would try to make it seem like first question, sometimes some of them might ask you, what did you do?
Yes.
What did you do to provoke him? What did you do to make him upset? What did you do? And then they see this person like they don't understand that this person is a Mr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde. They're one way in the public, but in the background, they're a completely different person.
Well, definitely.
Sheep in wolf's clothing. Or wolf in sheep clothing. Sorry, wolf in sheep clothing. Black heart, white teeth.
Yes. Yes. And so sometimes that makes it even harder for he gets people on his side, or even the women. People don't realize some women can be the same way, where she can be all charming and stuff like that, but in the background she's cussing her husband. She's telling me how worthless he is, how he's not this, he's not that, and things like that in the background. But if you trust somebody, you say you know somebody, they come and tell you something, believe it. It's happening to them. What's my motivation to lie? What's my motivation to come out at this point and say something about it? Why put myself in that situation of being embarrassed and this and that when it is happening to me? So we're gonna try to take some calls. If some people want to call in to give their comments, inspiration about this subject, because this is such subject. Like somebody said today when they were coming on the show that, oh, y'all talking about that subject, like real women like to be beaten up. When people make these comments like that, it's like, no, don't like to be beaten up.
Can I say something about that? Can I say something about that?
Yeah.
I get so annoyed when I hear certain men say, oh, but women like that kind of thing. Oh, y'all like women like that kind of what the heck do you mean? Who meets somebody and says, oh, that woman beat on me, I won. Oh, that one would slap me, I won. Are you stupid? Yeah. Are you stupid?
Yeah.
Why would you even say something like that? Why would you think it?
Right.
Nobody goes into a relationship knowing what someone is going to do to them. I'm going to tell you, every last relationship, every 3 of those relationships that I was in that I got abused, no one ever believed those men could do anything like that. No one. Because from the beginning, they were the nicest. I mean, open doors for me, cut my food up, you know what I'm saying? Feed me, for me, everything. I'm telling you from the beginning. You think I was say I want to be with you? No, I'm not going to.
Yeah.
So stop saying women like that. No, we don't. We like that. Okay, then we like spending your money. Let's spend your money. Since we like that, that's what I like.
Let's spend your money.
Yeah, it's a thing. I mean,
yeah,
we don't. No woman wants to be abused. No, I mean, and we also have to start teaching our girls that about dependency, being dependent on a man or being dependent on somebody financially. For me, even if I'm married, I need to know what's going on with the bills. I need to know what's going on with everything. And it flips around. You need to know what's going on with the kids. Everybody needs to be involved every kind of way in this relationship to try to make it work. You know, so even if you are being abused, at least you know there's something. And for me, your left hand shouldn't know what your right hand doing. Stop putting this small thing aside, Ama. Japo. There's something aside.
Can I read a message? Can I read a comment from Chokon real quick?
Yes.
Okay, Chokon says, so true. Even sometimes family and friends may know what you are going through, but instead of offering you helping hands, they will not but talk bad to other people about what you are going through. Exactly. You want to talk bad about, and that's some of the things like I used to be worried about people gossiping or even my friends going to go spread it. And that's exactly what they were doing. You know, they knew about it. And instead of even calling to say, hey, you know, are you okay? Can I help you? Is there anything, you know, it was just a little, oh, I want, they're beating her again. Oh, I want, they're doing this again. And those are the things that make, those are the reasons people don't even trust y'all to say certain things. And like, I would sometimes just rather go through my own issue on my own and figure out how to come out of it.
Right.
And like he was saying about teaching our kids to depend on themselves. That's the biggest thing, because we from Liberia, we have the notion that, you know, a man, they are supposed to do everything. So we put ourselves in this predicament that we meet a man and the Liberian man can say, you forget what you said. You know, you forget about yourself. You meet this guy. You take your money, you give it to him because he's the head of the home, and you don't even know if the car note paid, if the insurance is backwards. You know, I heard a story that a lady had an accident and didn't even know that her insurance wasn't being paid until that day. Imagine her new car, you know, got told her and found out that the insurance was not paid for a couple of months. You know, so you run into stuff like that. So, you know, to the ladies out there, again, it was put something aside. You're a woman. You come with kids. You come with responsibility. You know, even though the men have responsibility, but men can always spot that better go. They leave with the plenty children, and you get money, you will suffer. While the bread there, while you're enjoying it, be what is small somewhere. I'm telling you, because even though, or even if you don't break up in life, but that would be something you guys can even lay back on to get somewhere sometime. You know.
So, real sorry, I don't mean to cut you off. River says, "Pro, why would you say Basa women love their men to beat on them? They see it as an act of love. What is wrong with you?
That is
that comment. Like, what is wrong with you? Yo, take that ignorance somewhere else. Take that ignorance somewhere else. Nobody wants to be beat on. Nobody loves to get beat on.
That's what the thing. Basa women like to get beat. Like, why would you even say that? You know, they say that's how the women feel like the men love them if they beat me. You know?
I mean, it was not yet. I think plenty of time back home. Like I don't even think it's a Basa women thing. I think it's a thing. Period. Like if he does it, that means he loves you, and it's false.
No, it's false.
So we're here to say that today that is false. That's not how you show love.
No.
So, but anyways, thank
Not at
you.
all.
Thank you, everyone, for your input in this topic. We did stay long on it because it was a very important topic. So we definitely appreciate your inputs, your comments, and even those who are sharing the show. We appreciate it. We just want to say thank you.
Thank you.
We unfortunately we weren't able to get the phone calls, but we will continue to do that starting next week, or maybe we can get it fixed towards the end of the show. But like I said, we appreciate your support. And now, on a lighter note, this topic.
I know, right?
Yeah.
Let me exercise.
Let's breathe. Okay. Let's move on.
Hello. My name is Miss Monet. I'm a neo-traditional artist from Mama Liberia. I showcase our Liberian culture and tradition to the rest of the world. And today, you are watching Across Africa TV network.
Hey everyone, my name is Barrow. I'm a singer and a songwriter. Welcome to Across Africa Network, your home of information, discussions, sports, entertainment, and many more.
Hi, I am Eva and I am spunky and bold.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. I'm nice, but don't get it twisted.
Hi, I'm Hawa, and I give it to you straight.
Hi, my name is Rose Joy, and I speak with a passion.
Hey, it's Ivis, the fun girl.
We're back.
We're back. Miss Eva, where are we going?
All of that.
The phone is ready.
We are ready to travel, ladies. I am ready to travel. Do you know where we're going today?
Where are we going?
Italy. We're going to Italy.
Yes. Here at LIB Talks, we like to take trips. So today we're going to be going to Italy. Welcome to our traveler's guide. Each week we pick a place to go. Last week we went to Seychelles. The previous week we went to places out of Monrovia because there's so many places to travel outside of Monrovia. You know, we just stay in Monrovia all the time. But this week we're going to go to Italy. Now the reason I picked Italy, I went to Italy last year. And casi la vieron in Italy. I had fun. I had all types of fun, and we want to encourage you. Even though we're in Liberia, we're in other places. We want to encourage you to travel. So now, Italy is located in the south central part of Europe, and it's shaped like a little shoe. So it's a little shoe that kind of jets out into the Mediterranean Sea. The capital of Italy is Rome, and everybody knows Rome. Rome is over 2,000 years old. You know about the Roman Empire. Rome was founded in 753 BC, and the Roman Empire was named after the city that started in 27 BC. It ruled over much of Europe and parts of North Africa until 395 BC. After this, Italy was divided into different states. So it was not until 1861 when those separate states unified together and became known as Italy, the Kingdom of Italy, or basically Italy. Now, some places to visit in Italy is, one of the main places is Rome. Rome has many, many, many historical sites. This includes the Colosseum, the Pantheon, the Palatine Hills, and then there's the Trevi Fountain. And people throw over €1 million into the Trevi Fountain each year just for good luck and stuff like that. Then we can move on to the Vatican City. The Vatican City, most people don't know, is actually a little independent state. It's not like actually part of Italy, but it's within Italy. But it's one of the central location of the Roman Catholic Church. And one of the main things in the Vatican City is I always get it wrong, Sistine Chapel, which gets over 2,000 visitors per year, and it was painted by the painter Michelangelo in 1512. And the ceiling of the chapel is one of the most famous monuments in the whole world. So if you ever get a chance, go there, visit. And another city that is really good in to visit Italy is Venice. Venice is actually a city that's located basically on water, and it's formed by 118 islands that are connected by 400 bridges and over 170 canals. And the bottom of Venice is actually built on millions of logs. So they just piled on these million of logs, and the water is there, and then you have all these different bridges. And everywhere in Italy and Venice is managed by waterways. So to get to one place, you have to take a water taxi. You wait like you would wait for a regular taxi, and then you will go to the waterways, through the waterways, and they have times put up for the schedule, which was very interesting, traveling on water. I don't like water, but the boats are big enough. But they do have what they call gondolas in Italy, where it's the little canals, canoes, kind of like what we have in Liberia. But they're all painted black, and then people ride them for romance or to get around. And we cannot leave Italy without talking about the food. Pizza, pasta, yes. Pasta in Italy goes back to actually the 4th century BC. You can see like their wall paintings in pre-Roman Italian tomb that depicts what many Italians believe is to be pasta making equipment. So pasta goes way back. And even pizza was invented in Naples. And the word pizza can be found way back to the 10th century AD. But pizza in the modern form with a tomato base was developed in Naples in the late 18th century. We cannot leave Italy without talking about wine. Oh my God.
Wine.
Every region in Italy makes wine. And depending on that region is how the wine is going to taste. So if you go to Italy, make sure you get like a wine tour, and that you go to a winery and they'll put out the different wines with cheeses. You try it with different meats. And some of the best wines come from Italy. So just go experience it, experience the world, bring stuff back to Liberia. How can we make Liberia better, as we always say? So that's where we travel today, Italy.
Thank you so much, Eva, for taking us to Italy. And I just love how you personalize the pictures. Because there, you experience it. And until this pandemic is over, I am headed to Italy. Okay, Ivis.
I had on my LIB meets Rome t-shirt, but I changed it to the purple because of domestic violence. But if we're going to Italy, ladies, we need to make our little LIB shirts and show that we're in town.
Yes.
We have to represent Liberia in Italy.
I agree. So this is the next segment is Get Your Mind Right. Miss Ivis, what's on your mind?
Well, first, I would like to say, what is it, Chabella? Is that how they say Chabella in Italy? Something like that, but I love when they say that. Anyways, But let me move on. There are times in our lives when we hear certain things, see certain things, or notice certain things that makes us want to lose our minds.
Wow.
We think like, why would you say that? Why would you write that? Why would you even think it, my people? On today's segment of Get Your Mind Right, I want to clear my mental, if you know what I mean. Anyways,
come on, girl.
I like to talk about you fraudulent folks of the world. Yes, you BMs, you money changers, you card scammers, you Yahoo boys, you 419s, whichever way you know them to be. Look, stop flaunting in these VIP sections. At the clubs, buying out all these bottles and popping them and have the girl, round one, round two, and posting all up on social media, all your pictures and flaunting. The same way you're boasting about it, how you got it. How about you boast and tell us how you got it? Huh? Wait, where did you get the money from? Wait, that's what I want to know. How did you acquire? Boast about it. So, but if you feel like it's dumb to tell us where you got it from or how you got it, then why are you posting it at all? I'm sure most of you heard about Hush Puppy, right? The guy that was on the internet. He's in jets and he's flying in the Rolls Royce, the Bentleys and Beamers, and he's in all of that. Well, he flaunted in jail today.
Yeah.
That's flaunting. Now she can flaunt the jail cell. Flaunt the jail cell. Show the bars and show us, how much it costs to be behind jails when you stealing other people's money. That's what I want to tell y'all today. Stop flaunting with other people's money. Because let me tell you something. If I was a 419, if I was a Yahoo girl, you would never see me flaunting on social media or anywhere. Will be enjoying my money in the back, doing all my things in the back, and nobody gonna know what I'm doing. Okay,
and I'll build your country.
I'll build my country. You understand what I'm saying? You stealing the money, you stealing people's money, and you out here popping bottles and all that. 99 day for a roll, 1 day for a master. Keep stealing people's money. Get your mind right.
You heard that loud and clear.
Yes.
Thank you so much, Ivis. If you guys can see on the bottom of the screen, the number is there. But if you want to talk to us, you have a comment or you want to call in, please dial that number on the bottom and we will take your calls. Okay.
How would we have called you? Probably to us. I don't know.
Yes.
While we're waiting, I just want to say hi to a few people that I see watching. Isis, Alma, Dennis, Moi. I hope I said it right. Hi, bestie, Alex. Rose introduced you to my bestie. Okay, we're bestie now. Who else? Everybody watching. Hello, Jenna Nangwe. I think that's how you pronounce it. Naomi. Hello,
Naomi. Hi, says Naomi. Thanks for watching.
Bertha Stewart. We thank you all. Check it out. Gebet Kamara Sekou. You all call in if y'all have. We give y'all a few minutes to call in. The number is 919-324-6828. Call in. Let us hear from you. Tell us what you have to say. Yeah. We just.
Is that a call?
No, that was a comment that came in.
So should we go? Should we just give it a couple more minutes?
Yeah.
If you want to do the quote, the quote can be up.
Yeah, let's go ahead. Let's continue until they're ready to call.
Okay. So the quote of the day, it goes along with the topic today. It says, has it ever trapped you in a broom and not let you go? Has it ever thrown an object that hits you on the other day? Has he ever held you down and grabbed you to restrain you? Has he ever poked or grabbed you? Has he ever threatened
Your name and where you calling from? Rose, you got a call.
We have a call. Yes, caller. Hello, caller. What is your name? Where are you calling from? Did we lose the caller?
I think we did.
Yeah.
Yeah, we did.
We did.
No, she's here.
Go ahead, Rose.
She's here.
Oh, she's here. I'm sorry.
Go ahead, Teresa.
Hello, ladies. This is Rose John and the rest. I just want to compliment you guys for such wonderful topic and sensitive.
Amen.
Thank you.
That's my grandmother. Hi, Grandma.
Hey, Grandma.
My grandma is up to date.
Thank you so much.
I like that.
Welcome.
Thank you for watching.
Thank you for watching.
Welcome.
Good night. That was nice. It's good to know.
Did you want
It's
to
good
finish
to
the
know we
quote, or
have.
did you finish the quote, Rose?
Huh?
Lofa, can you put the quote up?
Yeah, I can put the quote up, but I mean, were you done taking calls?
No, do we have more?
No. If we have more, go ahead.
Okay. Go ahead, Rose.
Oh no, you said we don't have no other call. Okay.
Oh.
I can't hear them. I don't know where it's going.
Okay. So like I was saying, I'm sorry, kind of cut myself off. The quote of the day. Has he ever trapped you in the room and not let you go out? Has he ever raised a fist as if he was going to hit you? Has he ever thrown an object that hit you or nearly did? Has he ever held you down and grabbed you to restrain you? Has he ever swung, poked, and grabbed? Have you ever grabbed you to restrain you? Has he ever poked or grabbed you? Has he ever threatened to hurt you? If the answer of any of these questions is yes, then we can stop wondering if he ever be violent. He already has been. Mom.
Yes.
And that quote is by Lundy Bancroft.
Bancroft.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
Lundy Bancroft.
Yes, and this image for this quote is actually by a Liberian artist called Brima Wolaba.
Another caller on here.
Does a lot.
We have another call.
We have a call. Okay.
Paintings like this.
Hello.
Hello, caller. Your name and where you calling from?
Oh, my name is Sadia, and I'm calling from Dallas, Texas.
Welcome, Sadia. Welcome.
Hey, Sadia. Thanks for watching.
Welcome, Sadia.
So I can't quite understand you.
Go ahead, Sadia. We listening.
Thank you. I didn't catch up for the beginning of the live, but as I have been reviewing topics on Facebook regarding abuse, especially in Liberia, all the different race and sodomy that's taking place, I think personally, examples need to be put in place. There's no time to play around. 2-3 months old babies are being sexually assaulted, that the private turns into mush. How much more can we take as parents? And family members are sexually abusing and assaulting family members. It has to stop. There is no more room to wait for another day. I feel so strongly about this feel very emotional about it because when you see such a thing that is so prevalent in our community and nothing is happening to, or not much is being done to help our innocent ones, the lawmakers are the perpetrators of some of these happenings. So laws need to be put in place as soon as possible. It's at least 10 years or 15 years past due.
Yes.
So I'm saying to the rest of Liberia and other African countries, you make those laws take effect immediately for these men to be castrated or put in prison for the rest of their lives. Make an example of a few of them and see what happens.
Yep.
Because if you
Yes.
don't, women and family members will start taking law into their hands. I tell you, if I come home and this is happening to any of my family members, I know what's going to happen in the court. I'm not going to wait to go to court. The law is going to come and get me. Because if I get a hold of that person before the law does, he will be castrated by me.
Yep.
So this is serious.
Yes.
Very. This is just my 2 cents to the rest of Liberia and the African public.
Thank you, Sadia. Thank you. We
Thank
appreciate you for calling in.
Your
Thank you for
comments.
sharing.
Thank you.
Yeah, I think it's at the point, like what Sadia said, it's like people are at their wits' end. How do we curb these things, especially with these young babies, you know? And I was just reading that one today, allegedly about a little boy that was sodomized. And, you know, we don't pay attention to those too much, but it is happening with the little boys and things like that. And then what is the sodomy for jobs and things like that that's happening. All of that is abuse. All of that is not okay. And we're just at the wit's end. Where's the justice system? Where is the laws that are supposedly on the books that are not being implemented? And I just want to let everybody know that this subject here is not a political subject. It's not a stick that when somebody says, oh, the government needs to do something about it, because if you don't want people to use mob justice, then we have to depend on government and we have to depend on the justice department. I mean, the justice system, which is part of the government. So we have to depend on that, and we have to say, what is the government doing about it? And it should never be taken as something that's political or we're trying to put anybody down, but we look to them for solutions. They have the way of implementing the system to stop this, the laws to stop this, and implementing it, and training our police officers, training our people in these victims to do their kits, and then send it to the Justice Department, following up on these cases. We have to depend on that. So that's just my 2 cents about that, because a lot of people are talking about mob justice because nothing else is being done.
And the funny thing about it, gender ministry is not about a woman. You know, you think that she being a woman and a mother, you know, she would try to implement a lot of things out there. I haven't met her before. I'm not here to judge her, but I would tell her that there's a lot of work she needs to do. She got a lot of work to do. She got large tasks that she has in her hands, and she needs to start taking responsibility. Try to put in some laws and stuff. Try to figure out how this can stop. You know, that's why you have the job. Do your job, work. If you can work endlessly, work nights, and don't sleep till we get an answer to this, that is your job. That's what you chose to do. So please, gender minister, please do your job in Liberia.
All right, I think we're close to closing. Jennifer?
Yes. So again, we want to express, we want to say thank you to everybody for tuning in. We are live every Friday, 7 p.m. So please feel free to be a part of the conversation moving forward. We say thank you for those who have stayed tuned in from since 7 o'clock to now. We appreciate your support. We appreciate your inputs. And if you didn't get a chance to watch the show from the beginning, it will be posted on our Facebook and our YouTube channel. So please follow all of our social media accounts and also you can be able to watch the show later if you missed it.
Still got people calling in.
Okay, so we can take more calls.
Hello, caller. Hello,
maybe 2 more calls.
Yeah. Your name and where you calling from?
Oh, I can hear you, but I can hear you on the phone, but your live is your volume.
Okay. Well, here we're gonna check on that real quick. Then.
Thank you.
You're welcome. Okay, I think they were noticing that. I guess there wasn't a volume at the end of it.
Okay. So, Jennifer, I guess you already read the outro.
Yeah, we can go ahead.
Is there another call?
No, we're good.
No, we're good. Okay, so once again, thank you, everyone. Thank you. We are out for tonight, and join us back again next Friday for another interesting conversation. We will try to keep it down and hopefully work on everything, all the issues that we had tonight, okay? And again, like Jennifer said, if you miss us, watch it live. Watch it on YouTube. Go to our YouTube channel, and you'll be able to see this, okay? Thank you. Good night.
Hi, I am Eva, and I am spunky and bold.
Hi, I'm Jennifer. I'm nice, but don't get it twisted.
Hi, I'm Hawa, and I give it to you straight.
Hi, my name is Joy, and I with passion.
Hey, it's Isis, the fun girl.
Hello. My name is Miss Monet. I'm a neo-traditional artist from Mama Liberia. I showcase our Liberian culture and tradition to the rest of the world. And today, you are watching Across Africa TV network.
Hey everyone, my name is Varro. I'm a singer and a songwriter. Welcome to Across Africa Network, your home of information, discussion, sports, entertainment, and many more.